Good morning. This meeting of the Fremont County Board of County Commissioners is called to order. For our invocation today, we have Todd Luce with Grandview Christian Church. Please rise for the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Todd.
Would you bow with me, please? Gracious Heavenly Father, we come before you today and we ask a special blessing upon this meeting, that you'd give the councilmen and women a dose of wisdom with the understanding of what's best for our county, Lord. We pray that you would give them insight and the fortitude to stand up for what is right and do what is right for best for our country and not only our county as well, Lord. We thank you for all the many blessings that you've given us, and we give you praise for that. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Todd. Thanks, Todd. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Grantham.
Here.
Commissioner Bell.
Present.
Commissioner McFall.
Present.
Turn on your mic, please.
Lenny,
I know, mine
playing
was
tricks
too.
with me. Present.
County Attorney Bellis.
Present.
County Administrator Carochi.
Present.
And County Planning and Zoning Director Victoria.
Present.
Approval of the agenda.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve today's agenda with one very minor correction. New business item number 3, proclamation naming, it should be April 13th through 19th of 2025 as National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. Interestingly, the proclamation has it correct, but our agenda has it wrong.
So minor but important. I second that.
Has been moved and seconded with that noted change. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next on the agenda is the consent agenda. We have our normal course of business plus the ratification of the chairman's signature on several agreements, including a couple of airport agreements and leases, and no public hearings scheduled.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the consent agenda.
I second.
Has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
Just
Roll-
a quick note, Mr. Chair, that anyone who's interested in the items on our consent agenda can go online and find our agenda and each of these documents that we're currently looking at for approval.
Thank you. Roll call.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next, moving on to our administrative and informational portion of our meeting. Just a quick reminder for those that are desiring to talk to the commissioners today, if it's for an item not on the agenda, we do have slips of paper back there on the table next to the entry, and you can fill that out and bring it up to the clerk, and we will get you in line here shortly to speak. If you are here to speak on an item that is on the agenda, then we'd still like you to fill out one of those. But we will do that during the course of business later on when we get to new business. For our administrative and informational portion here, we begin with our staff and elected officials. We will begin with our county treasurer, who is also our public trustee for the quarterly public trustee report. Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
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 So releases of deed of trust, we're down a little bit from first quarter of last year. Foreclosures, we're up a little bit. Of those 17 foreclosures that we started, 8 of those are VA loans. And I believe 2 of those have been withdrawn already, but that still leaves 5 of them. We are picking up. We're getting some big ones. A couple that we probably all need to be aware of is we've received 2 separate foreclosures, over $1 million each one, and it encompasses 5 mobile home parks. That's 95 families that are gonna not have a home. And, you know, they're old mobile homes, people own them, they can't move them. So people come in, we really can't give them any kind of legal advice. We've advised them to go to legal aid. I don't know what options they have available for them. And like Sean and I had talked, we're hoping that the bank will do the assign rent agreement to where they can at least stay in their homes for a while and not have to make a rash decision. And so that is going to be forthcoming. I believe that sale is in July, so on both of them.
Okay.
So,
But that's not the best news you've ever brought to us.
no, it wasn't good news when we got them either.
No. I also would say, though, looking at this foreclosures initiated for the quarter is 17, but when I started here 15 years ago, we were hovering around 300 foreclosures every year.
Yeah.
And so things have changed
Yes.
for the better in that span of time, but for those people that this is going to affect, the numbers don't really matter. What
Right.
matters are the people who are being affected. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kathy.
Thank you. Any
You're
other
welcome.
comments, questions?
I have a motion.
Motion, please.
Mr. Chair, I move to accept the Public Trustees Quarterly Report from Kathy Elliott, our county public trustee.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded. Roll call.
Commissioner Bell,
Aye.
Commissioner McFall,
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Kathy.
Now we move on to our county administrator report by our county administrator, Mr. Tony Carochi.
Except we have.
Except
Pinch hitter.
the
Yes.
pinch hitter, Sean Sutton.
Good morning, all.
Good morning.
My nerves may get the best of me this morning, but my first, I guess, big boy BOCC meeting. So usually my backs are to you all, and now I get to see most of your faces even without my glasses. So
And Sean is our assistant county administrator. That's why he's here with us this morning.
that's right.
Yes.
Thank you, Debbie.
Good morning.
Good morning. So to get started with the county administrator report, we'll start with the following job opportunities. And I don't want to claim that this all has to do with me, but we have no postings. So overall,
Never
good
heard that
news.
before.
But yeah, in my 2.5 years as well, haven't heard that. So, however, if you are interested in working for Fremont County, please continue to look on the following websites: Fremont County, Fremont County Economic Development, and Colorado Workforce Center, or come to the County Administration Building and visit with our Human Resource staff, which is located at 615 Macon Avenue, Room 106, Canyon City, Colorado, 81212. Next, I want to shine a little light on Public Health Week. So this is a reminder that the annual National Public Health Week kicked off yesterday, Monday, April 7th, 2025, and runs through Thursday, April 13th, 2025. Stop by and support the public health staff located at 601 North 6th Street, Canyon City, Colorado, 81212. There will be free popcorn and other giveaways, along with lots of valuable health-related information over there. So. If you have further questions, please contact Public Health Department at 719-276-7450. Next, Fremont County Cleanup Campaign. So once again, Fremont County government is sponsoring the annual Fremont County Cleanup Campaign, which started Monday, April 7th, 2025, and runs through May 16th, 2025. The Fremont County Department of Public Health is participating with Twin Enviro, Apex Waste, formerly known as Phantom Canyon Landfill, which is located at 2500 Fremont County Road 67 in Penrose. A limited number of free vouchers will be issued from the Fremont County Department of Public Health, located again at 201 North 6th Street, Fremont County. Fremont County residents who reside outside city limits can dispose of household trash, furniture, construction debris, brush, logs, leaves, and yard waste. Each voucher is good for up to 500 pounds. Anything over 500 pounds is $55 a ton. Only one voucher per household with a valid state driver's license. Twin Enviro is open Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., but the landfill closes for high winds, so please call ahead if you have any questions. Again, if you have any questions regarding trash vouchers, please contact our Public Health Department at 719-276-7450. The last is for our Department of Transportation. We're conducting a rebid for our aggregate material for our 2025 project season. Fremont County Department of Transportation is accepting sealed bids for our 2025 aggregate material. Sealed bids must be received by 1 p.m. April 10th, 2025 at the Fremont County Administration Office, again located at 615 Macon Avenue, room 106, Canyon City, Colorado, 81212. Dates of delivery will be scheduled by Fremont County Department of Transportation supervisors. Sealed bids need to be submitted on the bid sheet supplied, signed, and contain complete contact information. Fremont County reserves the rights to refuse or reject any and all bids. Bid information can be found on our Fremont County website by clicking on Other Resources at the top of the page and then clicking again on the bid request portal, and all bids information will be listed there. We look forward to receiving your 2025 project, or we look forward to receiving your bids for our 2025 project season. That's our report for this meeting.
Good job.
Thank you very much.
Any questions or comments for Mr. Sutton?
I'll
Thank you, sir.
Save those comments for later.
Thank you.
Good job.
Just a reminder, we mentioned this at the last meeting, or maybe the meeting before, when we were talking about the trash vouchers and calling out to the landfill before you take your stuff out there. It does close down for high winds, and yes, believe it or not, the winds do blow in Fremont County. They seem to blow harder, actually, out there at the landfill, it seems. I have made that trip on the assumption that it was open, and was turned back by a locked gate.
I
So
believe that's still bothering you. That was years ago.
It was years ago. Yes, it still bothers me.
But how many times has this
Listen,
particular,
this isn't about me. I will not make that mistake again. Let's just put it that way. Please call out there, make sure that they are open, even if the wind is not blowing in town or at your house. Please call out there. That is my public service announcement for the day. Any other comments from our elected officials?
Go ahead, Mr. Bell.
I simply was going to say, we have a really big agenda with some pretty cool items on it today, so I'll just wait until we get to our meeting. Thank you.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah. Now let's see how you do.
I got a couple of quick things that are pretty important, so I'm going to bring them up right quick. One is we get a lot of people calling and wondering what's happening with as far as code violations in the county. I'll tell you, we got our first quarter report yesterday or today, whenever it was. There's around 85 cases in the county that code enforcement deals with through planning and zoning department. These guys do a great job at this. It's not an easy task. It's not easy to get someone to clean up their property. These range all over the county too, from Penrose to Florence to Cotopaxi to Copper Gulch to Howard, everywhere. And they range from everything from too many cars in the yard to junk to too many dogs to too many animal units. There's just so many different reasons that there's a case open. It's not a quick process. We try to give the landowner the biggest opportunity we can to get their property cleaned up before we get a little heavier handed. Sometimes we have to, and when that happens, we get a court injunction through the attorney, and then, well, before that happens, sometimes we have helping hands, which is a program we get tipping fees from the landfill, and we use those dollars to pay for a roll-off or something for people to fill up at their house, and they'll make progress on their own. If they don't, then the county does have to move in and clean it up. The county taxpayers have to pay for it. Sometimes it's up to, we had one a couple years ago, it's $45,000 to clean up. There's only so much money in that pot, so we try to do the best we can to get them to clean it up on their own before we have to move in and clean it up. But they do work diligently on those. When there's a a property that is complained against, then they open a case on it, go check it out, and then move forward from there. Sometimes the landowners have died. Sometimes they're out of state, out of country. Makes it a little harder, but they do work pretty good to get those cases taken care of. So I just want people to know it is constantly being worked on, and with 85 cases, that's quite a few actually, because some of them are pretty big cases. And the last thing I want to mention is we had a little fire in Fremont County yesterday up towards Tallahassee, and it could have got away really quickly. Thank God the wind wasn't blowing crazy. But with that, it is very dry out there. We are expecting fire winds this weekend. We talked about moisture in the fuels, the dead fuel moisture. There's 100-hour fuel moisture and 1,000-hour fuel moisture, and that's 3 to 6 inch wood that's laying on the ground. The moisture that's in that wood is the fuel. When there's lack of moisture in there, that makes those fires more rapidly burn and burn hotter. Well, those moistures are getting really, really low. So that means that any little spark could set those fires. So just be very careful and diligent while you're out there and be safe. Thanks, sir.
Okay. And like Commissioner Bell, I'll probably save most of my comments for while we are in the midst of business, especially towards the end when we get to our resolution. But just a quick reminder, we are still about 30 days away from the end of the Colorado legislative session. I'll just leave it at that. There's a lot going on, and if you're paying attention, great. We'll probably do a wrap-up after the session in one of our meetings in May to address some of the things that happened to local government and to counties in particular during the legislative session, and unfunded mandates and things such as that.
I do notice, Mr. Chair, you're saying things that happened to counties and not things that happened for counties.
Yeah.
Well, yes, that's true. That is
Just wanted to call attention to that.
carefully chosen language. I can't think of a thing in the last 4 sessions since I've been commissioner with you guys that has been done for the counties. Mr. Clerk, anything?
Just a reminder, with public health doing the trash vouchers for unincorporated addresses, Canyon City is doing the same voucher program for residents inside city limits. So if you're inside city limits, please visit City of Canyon City for your voucher.
Thank you, good reminder, and likewise on the comments by Commissioner McFall, when it comes to code enforcement and things like that, he's talking about unincorporated areas of the county. That does not include City of Canyon City or City of Florence, and the work that they do there to enforce their own codes.
Or the coal towns.
Or the coal towns, thank you. Okay, anything else, any other updates or comments from folks up here? Seeing none, we move on to the portion of our agenda where citizens who wish to address the commissioners on a matter not scheduled on the agenda are afforded that opportunity. We have one person signed up so far, and I remind you that the slips of paper are back there again. If you would like to address us during this point in time, please do that. This time, we'll ask Kathy Madonna to come on up, and
I don't know where she went. There she
she's right
is.
there,
I was just looking at her. Missed her.
right in front of you.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good.
Good.
Good. Thank you for letting me speak. I don't expect a response from you all. And a matter of fact, I don't want you to respond, because then you're going to think about how you're going to respond, and I'd rather you listen. So I am concerned about the economy in Fremont County, and as it pertains to our medical insurance and what's going on with Medicaid, Medicare, SNAP, the various programs. A big factor in the economic health of Fremont County is its medical health insurance. The $880 billion cuts being proposed by the current administration with Medicare in its crosshairs would have a devastating effect on Fremont County, as 34% or 17,000 people are covered under Medicaid in Fremont County. That's mostly seniors, women, and children. For Colorado, cuts to the anti-poverty programs such as SNAP and Medicaid would result in a loss of 14,000 jobs in Colorado. Gross domestic product would be reduced by $1.6 billion by 2026. Loss in state and local tax would equal $106 million in 2025. And as you're well aware, we already have a $1 billion hole for this year's budget. 26% of Common Spirit's hospital revenues come from Medicaid. 70% of rural hospitals already operate at an unsustainable financial position. Reductions would further exacerbate their negative profit margin and would also impact nursing homes with reductions of patients admitted there as well. Keeping grandpa at home would be a huge impact on the finances of families. Although Medicare is not being focused on as much as Medicaid, it too is not paying enough to providers for their sustainability. The focus is to privatize Medicare via Medicare Advantage. Although Medicare Advantage provides less benefit days and lower reimbursement than original Medicare to hospitals. Common Spirit is staying tough in its negotiations with Medicare Advantage, from what I've seen, with its negotiations with Anthem and its denial of a contract with Humana last year. Unfortunately, United Healthcare just announced that it is raising Medicare supplement premiums for Fremont County by 23%. This is going to force more people onto Medicare Advantage plans and will further reduce the hospital's reimbursement. And I'm worried about their stability and what that would do to us if we start having less medical access, less medical providers. Another concern that I have is the closing of Social Security offices and the reduction of staff. As far as I can find out, our current office is not being closed. The lady that works there has declined the opt-out option. But we need our Social Security office. That's who signs up our Medicare recipients. That's how they get their Medicare Part A and B. I have a gentleman that's 87 years old. He's on a walker. He's very crippled. His hands are like this, so there's no internet, difficulty getting on the phone, and he's extremely hard of hearing, even with his hearing aids. He had to sign up with me for United Healthcare because Humana canceled his Medicare Advantage. They didn't cancel him, but Medicare Advantage no longer had a contract with Humana and Common Spirit. He wasn't able to go to Common Spirit with his Humana contract, so I had to sign him up with United Healthcare. Medicare then started billing him an extra $33 a month as a penalty for not signing up for Part D when he first turned 65, in which he had a group plan and he didn't have to. It was an error. I couldn't get it fixed for him. He had to go to the local Social Security office, and they were able to fix it for him. And in addition, signed him up for the limited income assistant program that paid for his Part B, and he now has an extra $185 a month in income. The Social Security office is critical. I know what I'm talking about are federal decisions, but we need your voice. We need your influence to help with this. This is not a partisan issue. This is going to be devastating for all of us. If you could please help. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. It's not just a federal issue, it's a state issue as well, especially when it comes to Medicaid and the financial mismanagement that we've seen over the last 6 years especially, but in particular the last 3 to 4 years post-COVID of our Medicaid commitments created by the state that have sunk us into a $1.2 billion hole here in this state. And so if we want to look at villains in this, we don't have to look any farther than Denver when it comes to that. Moving on to the next portion of our meeting. We have no old business. And we move on to our new business. And the first item on our agenda. Well, this is one of those things where we are discussing this. I don't think we've ever actually had the Blossom Festival Queen and the Court here with us for an introduction prior to Blossom. And so it's great to have our Queen and Court here. Queen, Madison Daniels. First attendant, Olivia, is it Lay?
Yes.
Second attendant, Bella Lloyd. And Miss Personality, Jenna Cornwell. And if you have an agenda, or if you see it up there, you can see the rest of the list. And Jenna gets on there twice.
She does.
But there is the list of all of those, including our friend Shirley Troutman, the Grand Marshal this year. So I will turn it over to you
Okay.
to introduce.
Yes, good morning,
Good morning.
everyone. It's good to be here. For those of you who don't know me, I am Cassie Groh. I'm the Canyon City Music and Blossom Festival president. And while the girls are on the agenda this morning, if time allows, we'd like them to introduce themselves and just give a brief overview of some of the fun things getting ready to come to Canyon City, if that's all right with you.
That
And
would
when
be
they're
perfect.
done, we would love to get a group picture with everyone, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I will have them take it away.
Hello, my name is Jenna Cornwell, and I'm 2025 Miss Personality. This year, the Canyon City Music and Blossom Festival is celebrating the 87th anniversary. The Blossom Festival has consistently been the longest running and the best event in our city's history. Rain or shine, the festival is always held during the first full weekend of May. This year's festival theme is Blossom Superheroes. Honors all the superheroes in our lives. Blossom Weekend is always jam-packed with fun between the rodeos, craft fairs, the parade, and Cluster Duck. There isn't a lot of time to add anything extra into the weekend, so we started kicking off Blossom Week with the Blossom Ball, taking place on Saturday, April 26th at the Martian Ranch and Event Center. Doors open at 6 p.m. and the event begins at 7. The ball is meant to be a fun night ushering in spring and kicking off Blossom Week. There will be a seated dinner, DJ, dancing, photography, Hall of Fame, inductees, and a silent auction. Guests will also receive a one-of-a-kind commemorative wine glass as long as they've purchased their tickets by April 14th. Tickets are $150 for couples, $80 for singles, and a corporate table for $500. Visit ccblossomfestival.com to purchase your tickets. This year, we are also thrilled to announce the inaugural Blossom Ballers Bowling Tournament, organized by Fremont USBC and hosted by Canyon City Lanes. The tournament will be held on Sunday, April 27th. All available spaces to bowl have already been sold out, but there are Lane sponsorships still available. If anyone would like to sponsor Lane, please email the main Blossom email at canyonblossomfestival@gmail.com. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Jenna. Stay up there.
Hi, my name is Bella Lloyd, and I'm this year's second attendant for the Canyon City Music and Blossom Festival pageant. At its heart, the Blossom Festival is a school band competition. The Blossom Festival provides nationally recognized elementary, junior high, and high school bands with the opportunity to compete at their highest levels. In 2017, Blossom began incorporating a choir competition as well. While a lot of the competitions are funded through the Blossom Committee, it is the Canyon City and Florence High School students who put in the work of running the competitions. Dozens of students volunteer to coordinate the multi-day competition, and the concert band competitions are Wednesday through Saturday at Canyon City High School. The jazz competitions are Thursday through Saturday at the Florence High School. The choir competition will be held at St. Michael's Parish on Thursday and Friday, May 2nd and 1st. A full schedule of each competition can be found at their website at canyonsityblossomfestival.com. Admission to the competitions are free and open to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Good morning.
My name is Olivia Lay, and I am the 2025 Canyon City and Music Blossom Festival's first attendant. The 21st annual Blossom Run 5K, organized and hosted by Fremont Adventure Recreation, or FAR, kickoff on Saturday morning, May 3rd at Centennial Park. Kicks off at Centennial Park. The competitive wave starts at 7:45 a.m. and the jog, walk, and Yeti wave starts at 8:45 a.m. The Run Blossom 5K showcases Canyon City's beautiful Arkansas River, and the Run Blossom is a wonderful way to begin your Blossom Saturday before heading out to take part in other Blossom activities. People can register online now by visiting joinfar.org. Also, on Saturday morning, Blossoms in the Park opens at 9 a.m. Blossoms in the Park is our awesome craft fair and kids zone at Veterans Park filled with fun, live entertainment, and great food. There are approximately 130 vendors from across Colorado and many neighboring states who will be selling creative gifts, custom jewelry, and gourmet foods, and more. The kids zone areas are lots of fun with the Mermaids Lagoon, big ball and entertainment, and a mechanical bull, plus vendors with merchandise geared for more children. A full lineup of free entertainment is provided all Saturday and Sunday on the Veterans Park stage. Blossoms in the Park entertainment will begin on Saturday from 9 a.m. until 7 p.m. and Sunday from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. A full schedule of entertainment can be found at ccblossomfestival.com. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Madison Daniels. I'm the 2025 Blossom Festival Queen. Each year, the Canyon City Music and Blossom Festival Committee selects an individual from our area who has made significant contributions to our community. We are honored to have Shirley Troutman serve as the 2025 Festival Grand Marshal and lead us down the Main Street during the 87th Annual Canyon City Music and Blossom Festival Parade. The parade will begin at 1 p.m. on Saturday, May 3rd, along Main Street in beautiful downtown Canyon City between 4th and 14th Streets. The final parade lineup will be posted on the Canyon City Music and Blossom Festival website and Facebook page on Sunday, April 27th. It will also be published in the Canyon City Shopper and Daily Record during Blossom Week. As of today, we have 20 bands scheduled to march in the parade and, of course, many floats, including the 2025 Blossom Royalty Float. Finally, the Blossom Festival's Cluster Duck will be held on Saturday, May 3rd at Centennial Park, or as locals know it, the Duck Park. Cluster Duck offers a mix of live popular music from the 1980s and 90s and now. The Cluster Duck gates open at 4 o'clock p.m. and live music begins at 5 p.m. with $6 a flight. Followed by Cody Cause and this year's headliner, John Scalia and the Dirty Word. Cluster Duck is a high-energy event that promises to be fun for the whole family. There will even be a bounce house area for the under 21 crowd. General admission is $7 for ages 14 and up, with $7 a drink tokens. VIP tickets are $25 with $5 a drink tokens, and VIP Plus tickets are $50 with $3 drink tokens. The VIP and VIP Plus tickets also have some other perks such as exclusive tents, bars, and meets and greets with the performers. Thank you for letting us come and talk about the festival. All festival information can be found on our website at ccblossomfestival.com, our Facebook page, and you can always watch for us in the Daily Record and Shopper over the next few weeks. We hope to see you there. And I'm very excited this year. I'm really excited for you guys to see kind of what me and my court can bring. This year, we're hoping to have a lot of fun activities for kids and adults alike, and yeah, thank you.
Great job, great job. I want the four of you, real quick, come up to the podium and just stand there side by side by side by side, because there are millions of people watching and seeing all of you at the same time. So thank you all very much. Any questions for any of the four of them?
Congratulations to all of you, first of all. That's pretty awesome, what you guys are doing, and keep up the good work. And just one quick comment about the parade. It's a backwards parade this year, right? Is it still going west to east? The city started it. The city engineer the city manager started it.
City manager started that, yeah.
No.
Because of the
it's
construction?
It's just starting at 4th Street.
Okay.
Everything's the same, it's just one block.
Either way, it's gonna be on Main Street, whichever way it goes, it's all good. Okay.
If you're on Main and there happens to be a parade going by, I don't think you're gonna care which direction it's going in.
But
So,
congratulations to you ladies.
Thank you.
yes, thank you.
Yeah,
Don't go anywhere, in fact, go ahead.
Just real quick, just congratulations to all of you, and yes, you will see us there. Yes, we always participate, so.
All right, we're gonna get a
come
picture
take
with you guys, how about that?
Should we put Maddie in the middle and then first on one side, second on the other side?
It only was that easy. All right. Back to work.
Darn it.
Next item on our agenda is a proclamation. It's a proclamation naming April, the month of April, as Sexual Assault Awareness Month. And with us from Family Crisis Services is Sarah Fisher. Sarah.
Good morning.
Morning.
Push that button on the front of that, and then there
There
you
you
go.
go.
Till it turns green?
Yep, that's it.
Perfect.
Good morning.
Good morning. I just want to thank you guys on behalf of my organization, Family Crisis Services, for having us here today and just being so gracious as to make this proclamation. Sexual assault awareness is an important subject in our town, in our county, in our world, and we just appreciate the attention that you guys are willing to give it. At the end, I would also like to get some pictures with you guys, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
How do you want to do the proclamation? Do you want me to read it, or do you guys want to do it
I
yourself?
think that'd be great if you would,
Okay,
if you would do that for us.
absolutely. All right. Whereas April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month and calls attention to the fact that sexual violence is widespread and impacts every person in Fremont County, and whereas every day women, men, and children across Colorado suffer the pain and trauma of sexual assault upon survivors in our communities, and whereas this crime occurs far too frequently, goes unreported far too often, and leaves long-lasting physical and emotional scars, and whereas during National Sexual Assault Awareness Month, we recommit ourselves to lifting the veil of secrecy and shame surrounding sexual violence, expanding our support for victims and strengthening our response, and whereas sexual violence affects individuals of all ages, backgrounds, circumstances, and whereas as a community, we share the responsibility for protecting each other from sexual assault, supporting victims when it does occur, and bringing perpetrators to justice, and whereas at every level we must work to provide necessary resources to victims of every circumstance, including medical attention, mental health services, relocation, housing assistance, and advocacy during the criminal justice process. And whereas Fremont County of Colorado can come together to increase awareness about sexual violence, decrease its frequency, hold offenders accountable, support victims, and heal lives. Now therefore let it be proclaimed by the County Commissioners of Fremont County, Colorado, that the month of April 2025 is hereby designated as Sexual Assault Awareness Month in Fremont County, Colorado, and hereby urge the community to work together to educate themselves about sexual violence, prevention, and support of survivors, and speak out against harmful attitudes and actions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any comments or questions
Absolutely,
on this?
yes.
Please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Hi, Sarah. Just thanks so much for being here. I had the opportunity in my past to serve as on the Board of Directors for Family Crisis Services, so I am very familiar with the programs and what you do. I think it's an incredibly important program here in Fremont County, and the part that really strikes me is when you talk about this affects and impacts every person, not only in Fremont County, but in Colorado, pretty much worldwide. And anyone who thinks that's not true, they're wrong. This isn't something that many survivors are still really willing to speak up about, but I guarantee that sexual assault has affected relationships that you may not even understand how it has affected them. So this really is something that affects every person, and along with you, I stand up and say, let's pay attention, we need to know what's happening, we need to prevent it when possible, and we need to help survivors heal when it's not prevented. So thanks again for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah, just real quickly, thank you for being here. And I said this during Child Abuse Awareness Month. This is another subject that shouldn't be just a month, it should be all the time, but it's good to highlight it this month, so thanks for being here.
Thank you.
And I'm glad you mentioned that other one, because those that are here frequently, and I see some familiar faces obviously in the audience, but they note when we have some of these proclamations for these different months for awareness of these different things. And I hope that there's a broader audience that pays attention to such things, because as Debbie said and as Dwayne said, we call attention to these things because they do happen here. And there are real victims here. And we have folks, and maybe most importantly, to call attention to the fact that there's folks like Sarah and all the people you work with there that are there to help. And there is help in our community for those that deal with this in our community. So thank you very much for what you do.
Well, thank you. Can I speak to that for a
Please.
second? Okay, I just think that's just such an important point, is that this is a local issue, but also I just kind of want to highlight that we have local resources. My organization, and at the end of this, if you don't mind, I would like to give our hotline number out in
Yes.
case anyone's listening and needs that number. But in 2024, I just have a few stats about what our little organization did for Fremont County and Custer County, because we serve both. We provided 1,427 nights of shelter to victims. We took 1,070 crisis calls on our hotline. We served 274 clients, and in our follow-up housing program, we were able to provide housing for 21 adults and 35 children. And that's just in 1 year. That's a lot of work for our little organization, but it really speaks to how much we've been able to help Fremont County and Custer County. And then if you don't mind, I'll give our hotline number. This number is manned locally, because if anyone does call, we want them to have like on-site response immediately and to be able to actually reach a person who can respond immediately to their need. So this number is 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. It's never turned off. Our number is 719-275-2429. So thank you guys for having us.
Would you like a motion?
I would.
Okay,
Thank you,
Mr.
Sarah.
Chair, yes, I move to approve this proclamation naming April as Sexual Assault Awareness Month here in Fremont County.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And we have a signed proclamation for you. We'd love
Thank
to
you.
get a picture with you and then
I would love
hand
that.
that off to you.
And I'm going to give these to you guys.
Yes.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you. All right, moving right along in our agenda, we have another proclamation, proclamation naming April 13 to 19, 2025 as National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. And with us today, we have Lindsay Hubbard, Deputy Director, CRCA, and Alex and Leah. I don't have your last names written down, but
Turn that mic on, Rick.
turn the mic on. And Lindsay, go ahead and maybe introduce them as well,
Sure.
and then
Absolutely.
Take it
I'm Lindsay
away.
Hubbard. I'm the Deputy Director of CRCA 911. With me today, I have Leah. She's one of our dispatchers. She's also Dispatcher of the Year from 2024. And I have Alex, who's one of our supervisors, and she was Supervisor of the Year last year for 2024 as well. Thank you all for having us this morning. We really appreciate the attention to this matter, and obviously these people are very important to us here at the center. So thanks for taking the time this morning.
okay. Would you like to read the proclamation or have one of us read it?
I would love if you guys would take care of that for me.
Well, we have someone that does it really, really well.
I thought so.
And we volunteered him to do, oh, I mean, her to do that.
She's my favorite to do this.
Thank you. I would say that's appropriate because I do have the opportunity to serve on the E911 Authority Board, which has a lot to do with telecommunications. So just first of all, quickly, thank you so much for being here and congratulations to both of you. Those are some pretty important titles and honors. Okay, this is the Fremont County Board of Commissioners Proclamation, National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week, April 13th through 19th of 2025. Whereas emergencies can occur at any time that require police, fire, or emergency medical services. And whereas when an emergency occurs, the prompt response of police officers, firefighters, and paramedics is critical to the protection of life and preservation of property. And whereas the safety of our police officers and firefighters is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of information obtained from citizens who telephone the Combined Regional Communications Authority. And whereas public safety telecommunicators are the first and most critical contact our citizens have with emergency services. And whereas public safety telecommunicators are the single vital link for our police officers and firefighters by monitoring their activities by radio, providing them information and ensuring their safety. And whereas public safety telecommunicators of the Combined Regional Communications Authority have contributed substantially to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of patients. And whereas each dispatcher has exhibited compassion, understanding, and professionalism during the performance of their job in the past year. Now, therefore, let it be proclaimed by the County Commissioners of Fremont County that the week of April 13th through 19th of 2025 be National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week in Fremont County in honor of the men and women whose diligence and professionalism keep our city and citizens safe. Thank you all so much for being here today.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Anything, sir?
No, just thanks for what you guys do. It's got to be a tough job, so appreciate you being there and being the line on the voice on the other end of the line. Thank you.
Yeah, I think we take for granted sometimes that even if we don't have to make that call, there may be that one day we do make that call and there is a nice, calm voice on the other end that is there to help us. And so thank you guys for doing that and being that point of communication between those that are going to come to our rescue and those who are listening to us. So thank you guys. Any other comments from anyone? And
Just that we're
congratulations again, by the way.
Yes, we just had our award ceremony over the weekend, so we celebrated them wholeheartedly on that night. But like we said, the 13th through the 19th, we'll be celebrating them all week. We try to provide gifts and donations from the community for things for them, activities and other fun stuff to do. So it'll be a whole week-long celebration for them. Super excited.
Fantastic. All right.
Appreciate you
A
all.
week of
Motion-
celebration for an
motion is ready.
entire year
Yeah.
of great work.
Mr. McFall. Commissioner.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I move to accept this proclamation naming April 13th through 19th, 2025 as National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you,
all.
ladies.
And we have a proclamation for you that we would like you to take with you. Shall we get a picture?
We do need pictures.
All right.
Yes.
Oh,
Again.
again.
Oh, yes. Nobody to take a picture. But we are ready. Sure. Already. Don't steal that phone.
Musical chairs continues.
She's just dancing around the room.
All right. Next item on our agenda is the award bid for Tech Oil from our director, Michael Witt, from Fremont County Department of Transportation. I think he thought I was kidding when I said we wanted a picture with him.
I did think you were kidding. I still think you might be. Unfortunately, we missed this bid when we did the last bid opening awards. So this morning we are doing Tech Oil. Fremont County Department of Transportation recommends for award of bid as follows. Tech Oil, it's SS1H Tech Oil, to Suncor Energy for $2.34 a gallon. And it's at their, it's at their Pueblo plant, and we will be picking it up and delivering to job sites.
Okay.
Tech oil is a pretty important component for what you're about to do.
It's a pretty big one. Yep, it's a big
Indeed
one.
it is.
And just for everybody's, just so everybody knows, it just kind of got lost in the other bids last meeting, and it was in there, and we just missed it.
We did. And we've made precautions for next year. We're going to just do one cover sheet with bullets with everything on it, so we're not skimming through papers when
I
we're
like
here
that.
next time.
I like that.
Yep.
Any questions or motion?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I would have a motion for you. First, I would like to recognize that we have Annette Reed-Pugh with us this
Yes.
morning also from the Department of Transportation, just in case those millions around the world are wondering who the lady is standing next to you.
Thank you for that.
All right, Mr. Chair, I move to award this bid for SS1H Tech Oil to Suncor Energy at $2.34 per gallon from the Pueblo, Colorado plant for asphalt projects. Fremont County Department of Transportation will pick up and deliver to job site.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, guys.
We'll take a picture.
you.
Hold on. We'll do it later. Have a good day.
Next item on the agenda is the request for the issuance of a fermented malt beverage special events permit by the Canyon City Rodeo Association for an event at 1595 South 9th Street, Canyon City, on May 2nd and May 3rd from 4:30 PM to 11:30 PM this year. And with us is Representative Andy Phillips.
Good
Sir,
morning.
Morning.
tell us what you got going on.
We decided we're going to have a rodeo again this year.
Excellent.
Nice choice.
Yeah.
We approve.
Yeah, it's kind of tradition now at this point. Basically, we're going to have our standard traditional rodeo that we always have every year. Like you said it starts 4:30. That's when we'll start serving. The 11:30 will be specifically geared towards Saturday, which we're doing an event. We're partnering with the Cornerstone Group, which is a division of 4-H. And we'll be having a rodeo dance on Saturday night after the rodeo. And we're partnering with them to raise funds to help them with their programs. As you can see on the map, I've You'll have to excuse my second grade artistic abilities. We have vendors, toilets, we'll have fencing set up to control crowd, anyone trying to get beverages beyond that point. We will also have 6 sheriff's deputies on hand to handle any issues that we come across. They'll be throughout the stands and anywhere the public is going to be. We'll have beer, obviously, by the grandstands, right over about where her arrow is. We'll also have beer in the back over here in that little shack that we have, which we have stands over there as well. Is there any questions you have?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair, I do. Thank you. I would like to know who will be serving. Will they be trained? How will they identify people under the age of service?
Okay, we will have, I have 3 or 4 people that are TIPS certified, which is an online course to try and train people how to identify if someone is too intoxicated or, you know. I also have people who will be taking and checking IDs and carding before they can even buy beer tokens or, you know, obtain
So
any
will you be
alcohol.
using wristbands or?
Yes, we'll be
Okay.
using wristbands to identify the people that have been carded. If there's any doubt, obviously we'll card them again. And if that becomes an issue, then they're more than happy to leave or be escorted out by the sheriff's department.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Any other?
Just one quick question, Andy, on the dances under the pavilion, right? Under the
Correct.
4-H pavilion. You're gonna have fencing around that where it's enclosed as well?
There's already fencing there.
So it's gonna be closed off, so they gotta come in through the north side then?
Yeah, it'll be the north side where that
Perfect.
breezeway is.
Yep, okay,
And then,
perfect.
yeah, so it's gonna be fenced off, contained.
Right.
We've got a few other little irons in the fire we're trying to figure out as far as capacities and things like that, but I'm working with Cornerstone on that. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so the gates are just gonna be, I got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have one more quick question,
Yes.
Mr. Chair. I'm just curious, you did mention you're doing this again, and we all kind of chuckled because it's pretty much a tradition in Fremont County. Do you know how many years this is for you?
This is 152.
I thought I'd give you the opportunity to brag about that a little bit, because I think that's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Yes.
We missed a year there, but I think we're
So what was that
152
first one
now.
like?
Well, it was not quite as big. Yeah.
Congratulations for that, that's an impressive number.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Now we go to our report from our clerk.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Phillips submitted the application on behalf of the Canyon City Rodeo Association on March 13th for the event on the 2nd and the 3rd of May. The 45-day requirement was met. All documents were received. Sheriff and Public Health and the county attorney all recommend approval. The proof of posting was received by our office for the 10-day requirement, and so our office also recommends approval.
Well, okay then. Any other questions or comments or motions?
We got a motion for you, sir.
Excellent.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the fermented malt beverage special events permit for Canyon City Rodeo Association for an event at 1595 South Ninth Street, Canyon City, on May 2nd and May 3rd from 4:30 to 11:30, 2025.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner McVall.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Fantastic.
Thanks, Andy.
Thank you,
very
sir.
much.
Good luck, hope your events go well.
Hey, Andy, right quick, where can they buy tickets for the rodeo?
Yes.
We'll have them on hand, and I've in the process of getting online ticket sales done.
They'll probably be available during the parade, I assume, too, then?
Probably won't set anything up on the parade.
Okay.
We have traditionally stuck to cash card which on-site or online ticket
So
sales.
where would they look online?
We'll have, what I'll do is I'll post it on our Facebook page.
Okay, cool.
And they can just copy the link and go to the website
Perfect.
buy
But
tickets.
if they don't run into you between now and then, and they don't get online, they can get it at the gate?
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
excellent,
Perfect.
perfect.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Next item, a request for the issuance of a retail liquor store license for MRINV LLC, doing business as Cuddy's Hayden Creek Resort at 3428 Hayden Creek Road, Coaldale, Colorado. With us is Alec Stotter.
Yes, sir.
Hey.
Good morning.
Good
Go ahead,
morning.
Alex.
Thanks for having me. We plan on opening up a liquor store and a resort in Coaldale, Colorado, small town, between Cotopaxi and Howard. The diagram there is it's going to be put in our A-frame, which is a building that we're not using right now. It's currently used for storage, so we thought we would put it in there. As you can see, we're planning on putting a wall of reach-in coolers on where we can put them, and then wine on the other side. We're not planning on doing any liquor sales for the liquor store this year, depending on how it goes. It's just going to be beer and wine. Hours of operation, we are planning on between 11 and 5. We don't want to have it open too late. The only people that will be working in the liquor store will be over 21. They will card anyone who comes in. Any questions that I need to go over?
Anything?
I've got a question, Mr. Chair. I don't understand your map here. You got all of that in red, and can you explain that to us a little more,
Yes,
please?
so the only room that's going to have any actual sales is that first room on the left where that the deck enters into. Everything else is just going to be storage behind it. I was told that if we're going to put liquor in storage there to highlight that. So that is why the back room and that side room that juts out are in red. Again, this is a weirdly shaped A-frame, so that's kind of why it is laid out that way. The only room that's going to have liquor is in that front room.
And it's going to be sold from there then?
Yes, so their little front desk.
Little front desk, yeah.
Yes, and
Okay.
then just storage on the side.
Thank you.
Okay. Good.
You did say that you would be carding people
Yes.
and checking IDs, but are you going to have your servers go through training of any sort?
We should, yes, we'll have them go on for training just to make sure. I think we're only going to have one person actually running the liquor store or working there, which is my uncle, so I can make sure that he is trained.
Okay, that'd be great. Thank you.
Okay. Next, report from the clerk.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Stoddard submitted the application on March 3rd, providing all necessary information. The county attorney reviewed the file and did not find any deficiencies. Public Health came back and recommended approval, as well as the Sheriff's Office. They will be doing an on-site inspection if the application is approved today. The proof of posting was sent to us for the 10-day requirement. The publishing was completed Saturday, March 29th, which is the 10-day requirement. After the process of reviewing this file in its entirety, the clerk's office has recommended approval.
Okay. Any questions for Clerk Grantham? Any more questions for the applicant? If not, I'll take a motion.
All right, I have a motion for you, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve this issuance of a retail liquor store license for MRINV LLC, doing business as Cuddy's Hayden Creek Resort at 3428 Hayden Creek Road in Coaldale, Colorado.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right,
Thank you, sir.
good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is a request for an issuance of a malt, vinous, and spirituous and fermented malt beverage special events permit, Canyon City Music and Blossom Festival, for an event at Marchand Ranch Wedding and Event Venue, 4807 State Highway 9, Canyon City, on the following date, April 26, from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. in 2025. And with us again is Cassie Grove.
Yes, good morning. Hi again.
Thanks for hanging around.
Yes. The third annual Blossom Ball will be held at Marchand Ranch Weddings and Event Venue on Saturday, April 26th. It is a ticketed event with proceeds benefiting the Canyon City Music and Blossom Festival. Tickets are on sale now, and tickets will continue through our Eventbrite site. We have capped the attendance to no more than 175 persons. Last year, our numbers hovered around 150 people, and our goal is to beat that number from last year. This year's ball theme is Over the Rainbow. The ball chairwoman plans on transforming the venue into Blossom's very own Emerald City, where everything is inspired by the Wizard of Oz. Attendees will actually walk the yellow brick carpet and enter the main event where they will enjoy great food, a silent auction, this year's Blossom Hall of Fame inductees, and dance the night away. Doors open at 6 p.m. The event starts at 7 and will close at 10 p.m. The venue itself is fenced in and clearly marked. Our notice was posted, a photo taken, and sent to the appropriate county staff member. The entrances will be manned by Blossom Committee members and volunteers who have been trained and will be checking identification, placing wristbands on everyone old enough to consume the alcoholic beverages. I believe the bar, is that east? The eastern side of the building? Is that east or west? I'm terrible looking at these drawings without a compass on them, but that's where the bar is. It's east-ish, okay. But it's the bar, we plan on having it in the same area that it has been in the years past. The bartenders are certified and trained on serving alcohol, and during our last certification, we were actually able to obtain a few of the identification books. So if our door people or our bartenders have any questions on an identification, we have that book to reference right away. Any questions for me? My goal was to like get it on.
You took away
I think you took
all
away
my
Debbie's thunder
questions.
there, yeah.
I'm very disappointed.
Okay.
Well done.
Any other questions?
Yeah. Not that pertain to the license, but I do have a question at some point in time. Okay.
Nothing for,
No.
all right, turn to the clerk.
Absolutely. Thank you again, Mr. Chair. The special event application was submitted by the organization on March 3rd for the event on April 26th at the Marchand Ranch venue, well before the 45-day requirement. Public Health, Sheriff's Office, County Attorney all recommended approval with no objections, and all things considered, the Clerk's Office also recommends approval.
All righty then. Anything else?
I do have a question
Please.
for Cassie.
Okay.
This is just an opportunity for you.
Sure.
I would like to know if you have them at hand or can just name them that quickly. Who, if you would like to identify your inductees for the evening.
So.
And if not, that's okay too.
I know two of them off the top of my head. Without looking at it, we induct, because we do induct people every single year into the Hall of Fame. This year, it will be the McCarter family. So the Glenn, I'm sorry, it's
Christy?
not Glenn. Nope.
Oh, not-
It
not-
is his brother Dan,
Oh.
his wife Lisa, their daughter Alexis, and their son Ethan. So it was actually that side of the McCarters that first thought up the Blossom Banquet and inducting Hall of Fame members into that, once in a lifetime club. So we wanted to honor them at this ball. The other person that we are inducting is Brendan Pardue, and if I'm sure most people
Everyone
know
knows
who he
Brendan.
is, but he is a great cheerleader for us. He does a lot for us behind the scenes with his mentorship and guidance, and just making sure that, he always puts the community first. And so we wanted to honor him in that way. If there's another person, I am not sure who that is.
And we're very apologetic for not naming
Yes,
them
that's
here
okay.
today. Okay, all right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Anything else?
Got a motion, Mr. Chair?
Please.
I move to approve the issuance of a malt Venice and spirituous fermented malt beverage special events permit for Canyon City Music and Blossom Festival for an event and Marchand Ranch Wedding and Event Venue, 4807 Highway 9, on April 26th from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Motion carries.
That's it.
All
Awesome.
right.
And I did remember there is one more.
right.
It is Letty Dorito.
Good
Letty
job.
Dorito,
Okay.
because in honor of this year's Blossom pageant, they marked their 80th anniversary, and Letty, again, a huge Blossom supporter, community supporter, but she was also a Blossom queen back in 56,
Oh, wow.
65, somewhere. I don't know. But back then.
Another excellent
Yes,
choice.
yes.
So I'm glad you
those,
remember.
Those are
Yeah.
our three.
That's
Yes,
wonderful.
Yes, ma'am. And I almost stole someone's pen, so I'm going to put that back. But if you're done with me.
Thanks, Cassie. Yes.
Thanks, Cassie.
All righty. Next item on our agenda, item number 8, is the temporary use permit 23-002 for the Marchand Ranch Wedding and Event Venue. Request for an extension of that TUP. And with us today, Tiffany Marchand.
Good
Tiffany.
morning.
Tiffany Foster.
Yeah, I was going to say, why do we have Marcia
Yes,
on?
and it didn't sound right coming off the tongue, and I'm like,
Ty would be upset.
well, yes.
And I only want to proceed if I get a picture at the end. Just kidding.
Well,
Just kidding.
was that included in the check boxes on your application?
I don't think it was.
Well, I'm sorry then. I'm sorry.
Sit down.
And there is that extra fee.
There is
I know.
no
Agreed.
proclaiming going on here.
Exactly.
Go ahead and tell us what you're requesting.
Okay, I am requesting yet another extension for my lovely TUP at the recommendation of lovely Dan Victoria, which I appreciate so much, and the Planning and Zoning Office.
Lovely.
Lovely.
Now we're stretching.
I know, right? We were met with a few interesting things, like a $2 million improvement to the state highway from CDOT. So that, of course, is not in my back pocket, although I wish it was. So I need an extension in order to get through the couple of meetings for the SRU. It is complete, it is turned in. And as of yesterday, we have made a very clear pathway using shuttles and turned that into CDOT as of yesterday at like noon. So we're blazing a trail forward as fast as we possibly can.
Okay. Any questions?
Just a comment on that, or I guess a question on that. So you've turned that into CDOT, but you had talked to them prior to that. What does it look like as far as their agreeance with your shuttle?
Well, I have no idea what their actual agreement is, but it is definitely something that's being done on Highway 50 at Howard's venue with Orland. And so it's something that is already being done, and we kind of just followed suit. And so I don't see any reason why it won't go through. That was kind of the wink and a prayer that we went off of from them. Of course, they cannot say that it's a surefire, but Adam, I went and talked personally to Adam Lancaster face to face, and he told me that it shouldn't be met with any crazy hurdles. He said there will be comments back, of course, just because that's what they do. But as far as a pathway going forward, it should be pretty solid.
And what was his timeline?
He did not have
Did not have one?
No.
I'd just like to express my disdain
Love
for CDOT.
Love for CDOT.
And their inconsistencies with these, and placing a burden on this event center on a road that is much less traveled than one that they approved one open range for on Highway 115. So it's just frustrating that there's
I second that.
no consistency whatsoever.
I also do have a question, Mr.
Yes.
Chair. What is the extension that you're looking for? What kind of a time frame are you seeking?
I think off of the recommendation of Dan, either, would you like me to let you answer that, or do you want me to answer?
I could comment on that. I think there would be no issues with getting this application in, or the SRU application in front of Planning Commission the first week of May, which means at the latest, we will be seeing Tiffany the first week of June. So if we allow a little bit of wiggle room, because we know how the world works, if we had an extension that ran to, say, July 1st, that gives us enough time to ensure that this can be heard by everyone and see the direction it goes.
Thank you.
Okay.
So this would be extending it from the 26th to July 1st.
Yeah.
26th of April.
Of April.
Okay. All right, any other questions? No. Well, then I'll turn to Dan at this point for his formal report.
All right, a formal report will be a touch informal. There's not much to say on this one. The SRU application is substantially complete minus CDOT. Ms. Marchand here, or Foster.
Mrs. Foster.
Mrs. Foster. I will get it right eventually.
Or Tiffany.
Tiffany.
Has sent me the information that she's forwarded to CDOT. So there's proof that she is actively working with CDOT. The shuttle ideas she has come up with, while I haven't seen the traffic numbers, would substantially reduce her traffic impacts, which should be favorable to CDOT, which was the only hurdle we had left. So I'm working on a staff report right now for the SRU application, and we already have a packet put together. My department's very confident with this being able to be presented very soon.
Okay.
All right.
I will save my comments for CDOT till sometime in July, just in case they're watching.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a meeting with them next week, so I'm okay.
Any other questions or comments or motions?
I have a motion.
Okay.
Okay. First, I would like to say thank you for letting us see us, as in the department, a completed application. We've been waiting a very, very long time for this. And because you do have a completed application in for us, I feel a little bit differently about this particular extension. So my suggestion is to actually give the extension date until July 8th, which is our first meeting in July, just in case we have one more
Good call.
hurdle. So, all right, Mr. Chair, I move to approve this temporary use permit 23-002 to Marchand Ranch Wedding and Event Venue from April 26th through July 8th of 2025.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? I would note that we have our conference in July. Are we going to have to move that date?
No, we are
or the next
leaving,
one?
we actually don't have to move either one.
We don't have to move either one?
We're leaving on the 10th.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Yes.
Okay, if there is no further discussion, roll call.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right.
There you go.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I
Okay,
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Now my picture?
Oh, fine. All right, next item on the agenda. Item number 9 is the CUP of transfer of ownership, United Companies. This is a request for the transfer of ownership by Old Castle SW Group, Inc., doing business as United Companies, due to acquiring the Erie Corporation. As part of this acquisition, Old Castle will take over the existing permits associated with Erie Corporation's operations. And you can see those listed there on the agenda, and I won't go through them all one by one, but with us is Representative Sarah
Correct.
Weimer?
Weimer, yep.
Weimer,
Yep.
okay. And
Oh, this is Tony Micah. He's a GM for United Companies.
fantastic.
It's just Tony, huh? It's
Just
just
Tony.
Tony.
Tony's here.
You know, we have one of those just
We have
Tonys.
Guy.
Go ahead, tell us
In our
what's
IT
happening.
department.
I did inform Dan last night, actually, we do have Macomber Hill Pit. It will not be included in this transfer. It's not included in the sale.
Ah, okay.
Oh, you're trying to take one, huh? I
I
get
mean,
it.
yeah, we tried to slip one under. Didn't,
Yeah.
yeah, so I just wanted to make that accurate.
No, thank
so
you
it
for
doesn't
that.
get transferred.
Appreciate it.
Yes. So my name is Sarah, and I'm with Old Castle Southwest Group. And like I said, we've got Tony here, who is the GM for United Companies, and he's down here a lot. We are here as representatives of Old Castle Southwest Group, doing business as United Companies, a CRH company. We are here to speak about the transfer of ownership and 3 conditional use permits from Erie Corporation companies to CRH, Old Castle Southwest Group. These sites are, as you see, listed in front of you. CRH is one of the largest building material companies in the world and operates through its subsidiaries, CRH Americas, composed of hundreds of smaller operating companies in all 50 states. CRH products include aggregates, asphalt, ready-mix concrete, cement, and construction services. Our major projects are involved in infrastructure. We really love CDOT.
Nice plug.
I don't think that's going to help you at all.
Nice plug, though. Yeah, good job.
Yeah. So infrastructure, so road building, we would like to work really hard to get that done quickly for you, and development and commercial and residential construction. CRH takes environmental compliance very seriously, especially in Colorado where laws and regulations are very stringent. We will continue to stand by these standards with these new sites. A quick breakdown of our approach to environmental compliance includes, first, regulatory framework. We must comply with all of the regulations that are set forth in front of all of these sites. EPA regulations, including the Clean Air Act, Clean Water Act. State-level environmental laws, including land development with the Division of Reclamation and the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment. This includes air and water permitting. Oh, okay. And then, in addition, we also follow OSHA and MSHA, federal guidelines for worker and environmental safety. Next, we have sustainability and compliance practices. We have environmental management systems in place at all sites, and proper due diligence is completed monthly. Air and water quality monitoring for cement and asphalt plants. Dust and emission control technologies, which are bag houses and scrubbers on these plants. Recycling and reclaimed material use, especially in asphalt and cement. Environmental audits and internal compliance reviews, which are completed multiple times a year. Our sustainability goals, as CRH is a broader corporate company, our goals include reducing CO2 emissions, especially in cement products, increasing the use of alternative fuels and raw materials, water stewardship and biodiversity initiatives, and targeted goal of net zero emissions by 2050. I have been employed with my company, which is one of these smaller operating companies through CRH for 11 years. I'm a native to Colorado, and I'm very proud to say that I do have family who has lived in Fremont County for many years. So as much as I'm a tourist, I understand that life in the country is very different than that of the city. And the folks of Fremont County and established their livelihood here for decades and highly respect their area and their land and surrounding properties. Our goal is to come in and be a good neighbor. We do not want to be an eyesore, and we do not want to be a problem. And by no means do my short visits here, once or twice a year, even begin to equate to the work that is put in by your community members. So it's my understanding that those grassroots and relationships that we want to build with you guys and the community to foster these relations, to move forward, to make sure that we're respecting our community, and we are going to stay in compliance with the permits that are already listed.
Okay. Any questions for the applicants?
Not at this time.
Coming here a couple times a year, and I see why she likes CDOT. She'd stick around. I'm sorry. Go ahead. No other questions.
Till they close down 50 on the canyon and get stuff there.
We'll turn to before we get ourselves in more trouble, we'll turn to our staff report. Mr. Victoria.
Been spending the last few months talking with the folks over at United. They've been very receptive. They've been asking a lot of questions, which is always a great thing. They've gone as far as to give a request for copies of all of the permits for these pits that we have on file so they can make sure that they're 100% compliance with everything. Pleasure to work with. So I see no reason why these transfers shouldn't occur, minus the Macomber pit.
Minus, yes.
Yeah, so they've been great to work with.
Okay. Any questions for Dan?
Well, yes. The question is, are we transferring them to Old Castle Southwest Group?
Correct.
Is that who the?
Yeah, doing business as United Companies,
Okay.
but they're under a broader corporate company of CRH.
Okay.
But yes.
And for Eric, do we need to do individual motions on each of the three?
That would be the preferred way to do it, yes.
Okay.
A motion for each of the three.
Okay. Then if there are no other questions and we're ready with motions.
I got a comment first before I make a motion. I appreciate you asking for all of the CUPs so that you can make sure you're in compliance. I've asked the department to go through all of the CUPs that we have with all the pits, because almost all of them have transferred in the county, to make sure, because I think there's at some point, some things got dropped that were requirements of those CUPs. And so they're going through those as well with the Fremont Department of Transportation guys to make sure that sometimes there's material that's supposed to be given to the county for certain roads and stuff, and I don't know if that's the case with any of these, but they're checking with them, so I appreciate you guys checking on those too.
Yeah, well, I mean, to know the history of these sites, and then things are always ever changing. I mean, we don't know if they changed access roads or any at one point, and are we even supposed to be accessing that road, or, you know, people coming out of there? I want to make sure that we're following the
Yeah,
correct
and
standards.
that's the reason I asked them to check it, because our roads are taking a beating with these heavy trucks coming in and out. And we want to make sure that they're on the correct roads doing that, and if not, then we need to get that rectified, so.
Yeah,
Appreciate
exactly.
that. And with that, Mr. Chair, I've got a motion.
Okay.
I move to approve CUP, the transfer of CUP 22001, Fremont Paving and Ready Mix, the Penrose Pit, to Old Castle Southwest Group, Inc., doing business as United Companies.
All right, I'll second that, just with the note that we do appreciate good community partners here in Fremont County. So thank you.
Has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, Mr. Chair?
Yes, proceed.
I move to approve the transfer of ownership of CUP 86-007 Fremont Paving and Ready Mix Mackenzie Pit to Old Castle SW Group, Inc., doing business as United Companies.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Last but not least,
Mr. Chair, I move to approve CUP, transfer of CUP 98-0011, Fremont Paving and Ready Mix, to Old Castle Southwest Group, doing business as United.
And this is the Florence
South
South
Pit.
Pit, and I second.
has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye,
Motion carries.
just like that.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
When do I
Thank
get
you.
with you for those? I got a bunch of USB drives.
I'll get yelled at if I don't turn that on. If you want, you could bring the flash drives up to the office right now. We'll get them all loaded and contact you when we've got everything on it and figure out how to get them to you.
Okay, yeah, I'll stick around.
Okay.
Thank you
perfect.
so much, you guys. Really
Thank you.
Bet. Thank you.
Wish you the best of luck.
Dan, nobody's gonna yell at you yet. All right, moving right along again in our agenda. Item number 10, subdivision exemption 25-002 for Wright, Jodell Wright. This is for a subdivision exemption for a property located at 1638 County Road 46 in Howard. For this, we turn to our planning and zoning director, Mr. Victoria.
Hello, everyone. This parcel came to light while processing a different land use application. It turns out that the state mandated that counties must adopt subdivision regulations no later than September 1st of 1972. And the first deed for this parcel was created in November 1st of 72 and was recorded January 3rd of 73. So it wasn't a legally created parcel. That being said, it's had a residence on it for a very long while. It's being lived on. It's there's basically, this is a housekeeping request to exempt this and make this a legally created lot, as it's already being used for those purposes, and to make sure that future owners don't have any hardship. They missed the window by a few months. So we've done a full rundown of everything. Everything kind of checks out. If we were to exempt this from the subdivision regulations, it just makes it easier for people moving forward.
2 months to be exact.
Yeah, I'm guessing it got lost on the table and then, oh, so we better get this down there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how old is the house? How old is the structures? Does it predate the September 72 or is it recent?
I'd be guessing. It's not recent, I can tell you that. I'm not sure if it predates 72. It looks like it was probably carved off sometime after the fact, so maybe the home was on there, and then later on, somebody wanted to do a land transfer, and they just left enough for the residents, I think is what occurred.
Gotcha. Any questions?
Oh, I should note that the applicant was willing to come down. She resides in Denver. This is her mom's house. She's going to be moving her mom out, so they're trying to get the place ready for a sale. I did not think it was appropriate to have her drive 3 hours each way to talk for 2 minutes.
sit through a
Yeah.
hour and a half
Half
of meeting to address us for 60 seconds. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
No, that's good. I'm glad you did that. All right, any questions,
Just a comment.
please?
The county's website shows that the effective year built for this residence was in 1977, which is almost 50 years ago. So it's been there for a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
I have a motion.
please.
All right. I absolutely agree with Dan. There's no reason for this applicant to have come to this meeting this morning. I think this is a pretty clear-cut issue for us to deal with. So with that, Mr. Chair, I move to approve the subdivision exemption number 25-002, right, for the property located at 1638 County Road 46 in Howard.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded. Just before we do roll call on this, just to note, we have had a couple or three of these in the last, one recently and one a little while back. I think for the most part, what we saw in those was that these predated the 72 law. This is really the first one we've had, which has kind of been the exception. And I think it's important to note that these are not automatic. There are some obvious ones that when we get to them, they're obvious. This is, I think, one of those. It's obvious. There's no ill intent here to try to skirt the Senate Bill 35 from back in 72, and we're glad to step in and not assume what the vote's going to be, but I'm pretty sure where sentiments are. I think I only say all that just to kind of give the forewarning that for the millions watching, it's not an automatic thing. If this didn't happen prior to September 1st of 1972, then we don't necessarily make it an automatic thing that you're going to come in and get a subdivision exemption. And we have to think very thoughtfully about such things. And so just wanted to make that note. There are those things like this that I think fit the bill pretty well. So with that being said, if there's no other discussion, roll call.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next item, approval of the Fremont County Weed Management Plan as submitted by the Fremont County Weed Advisory Board. Who wants to speak on this?
I'll take it. I was hoping somebody from the board or Brittany would be here, but they're not. So we've got to renew, we by statute have to renew the noxious weed management plan every 5 years, I think it is. And it's due. They made a few corrections and exceptions in there. Other than that, it's pretty well the same as it's been for a while, but it talks about the history of the weed department, the Noxious Weed Act, Colorado, and explains why folks are required to take care of their noxious weeds on their own properties, and as well as what our department does to help with noxious weeds throughout the county and some adjoining counties as well. She helps out some, but there is cost share programs which is spelled out in here, and whether it's spraying, biological controls, chemical controls, or some other kind of mechanical control, it's all spelled out in this. The changes that they made were very minor, and this is all available. I assume it's on our website. If it's not, we'll make sure it is there under the weed department, noxious weed department tab. And it does have a list of the list A noxious weeds that are necessary to kill in the county and in the state, because they are noxious and they usually tend to run rampantly if you don't take care of them. So that's kind of basically it in a nutshell. If there's any question or anything, I'd have a motion.
I have no questions.
No questions.
I would move to approve the Fremont County Weed Management Plan that was submitted by the Fremont County Weed Advisory. And that was last week that they revised it, so.
All right, I'll second.
Okay. Has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right. Coming down to the end. Item number 12, this will be resolution number 8, series of 2025. This is a resolution opposing Colorado Senate Bill 25-003. And for this, we turn to Commissioner McFall, our reader extraordinaire.
Yeah, let's not go that far, but I'll try to see what I can do here. We do have before us a resolution opposing Colorado Senate Bill 25-003. And if anybody's been paying attention at all, this is one of the most erroneous, craziest, egregious, I don't even know all the words. I'm making them up or something, but against our Second Amendment rights that has ever been put into legislation. As far as I know, it's been sent to the governor's desk. I'm not sure if it has, but it's up to him to either sign it or not sign it, veto it or something like that. This is not only a bad bill for our Second Amendment rights, but this puts a huge burden on counties, and it's an unfunded mandate, and we talk about those all the time. I don't even think we know how much this unfunded mandate is going to cost the Sheriff's Department to pull this off. One analyst talked about when they wrote this bill the way it is written, they're requiring Parks and Wildlife to do also some reporting on this from the Sheriff's Department. And the technology that they need to do that is not even invented yet. And they said there is no way that they can get it done in the 170 days or whatever is proposed for this to happen. So this is a bill that's liable, if it does get signed or not, if it becomes law, I think it's going to end up in court regardless. But I'll read this proclamation and we'll go from there. Whereas Colorado Senate Bill 25-003, Senate Bill 3, passed the Colorado Legislature on March 28, 2025, in part prohibits knowingly manufacturing, distributing, transferring, or selling, or purchasing a semi-automatic rifle or semi-automatic shotgun with a detachable magazine, or a gas-operated semi-automatic handgun with a detachable magazine, specified semi-automatic firearms with limited exceptions, and only upon an individual complying lengthy and costly background checks and safety courses. And whereas pursuant to Senate Bill 3, the unlawful manufacturing, distribution, transfer, sale, or purchase of specified semi-automatic firearms is a Class 2 misdemeanor, and a second or subsequent offense is a Class 6 felony. And whereas the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution, let me start that one over. Whereas the Second Amendment to the United States Constitution, adopted in 1791 as parts of the Bill of Rights, protects and inalienable and individual rights of people to keep and bear arms. And whereas Article 2, Section 3 of the Constitution of Colorado provides that all persons have certain inalienable rights, among which may be reckoned the right of enjoying and defending their lives and liberties, of acquiring, possessing, and protecting property, and of seeking and obtaining their safety and happiness. And whereas Article 2, Section 13 of the Constitution of Colorado provides that the rights of no person to keep and bear arms in defense of home, person, and property, or in the aid of civil power, when thereto legally summoned, shall be called in question. And whereas Senate Bill 3 requires law-abiding citizens to jump through unnecessary hoops and pay significant fees in order to exercise their Second Amendment rights, and their rights secured by Article 2, Section 13 of the Constitution of Colorado. And whereas, also pursuant to Senate Bill 3, a dealer who unlawfully manufactures, distributes, transfers, sells, or purchases a specified semi-automatic firearm shall have their license revoked by the Department of Revenue. And whereas Senate Bill 3 will harm gun store owners, rendering it illegal for gun store owners to sell large portions of their merchandise, potentially driving gun businesses to close or move out of the state. And whereas Senate Bill 3 is an unfunded mandate that requires county sheriffs to complete fingerprinting and to conduct background checks on applications to determine if they meet the criteria to receive a firearm course card without any additional funding or resources, as I talked about the unfunded mandate. Whereas the estimated physical impact of Senate Bill 3 published by the Colorado General Assembly is dishonest by order of the magnitude and does not include the legal expenses which will be incurred in defending such clarity unconstitutional overreaching during the time of this historic budget shortfall. And whereas a member of this board took an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Colorado, and the laws of the State of Colorado, insofar as that they are constitutional, and this board likewise has the duty to identify and oppose those laws that are unconstitutional. And whereas this board opposes Senate Bill 25-003 and implores Governor Polis to veto this legislation that will infringe on Coloradoans' right under the United States Constitution and the Constitution of Colorado, jeopardize citizens' right to self-defense, damage the economy and livelihood of gun store owners and employees, and burden county sheriffs. Now, therefore, be it resolved by Fremont County Board of Commissioners that this board hereby declares its opposition to Senate Bill 25-3 and urges Governor Polis to veto said legislation.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to talk right quick about the estimated impact of Senate Bill 3. When they made a fiscal impact statement, they were basing it off of 50,000, and I forget where that number came from, unless you remember.
CBI.
Yeah, well, no, it was the background checks that were already happening this year and in previous years. Well, they underestimated that by thousands and thousands and thousands. So that's why the impact and the amount of dollars is kind of unknown to what it's going to cost us to implement this.
Just another big pointer to the fact that the fiscal impact analysis machine is broken and has been broken actually in the Colorado legislature for quite a long time. Something we harped on in my brief time up there, and we will continue to harp on. Mostly from this standpoint, because it just doesn't address local impacts that they create. It only addresses really state impacts, typically negative. Commissioner, anything to add?
Yes, of course. Thank you, Mr. Chair. People who support this say we have a gun problem in Colorado, and so this is going to fix it. So we don't have a gun problem because guns don't shoot people. People shoot people. What we have is a mental illness problem with people who can get their hands on guns who already should not have access to guns, but are managing to get their hands on guns regardless and killing people. If we would turn the attention of our legislature to the problem of mental illness, the way that they have jumped on what they foresee as the problem of gun violence, they probably would have had this issue solved years ago.
100% agree. They're attacking the tool rather than the problem, and the mental health is the problem.
Absolutely, yes.
And this bill, when it first was entered, was totally different from the way it came out. And it's actually worse than it was. With a ton of amendments and a ton of time and it's like you said, if they would spend half the time on mental health as they do on this, and the other 2 or 3 gun bills, I hate that anybody kills anybody with anything, but it's the tool that they're using, and they're attacking the tool, and they're attacking law-abiding citizens rather than taking care of the problem, and that's mental health.
We look at the constant cry for more laws to fix these problems, and all you have to look at is some of the most stringent gun laws in the country. And the characteristic of those areas, like Chicago, like Washington, D.C. itself, and most of the eastern cities that have the most gun laws and are the most restrictive, also have the most gun violence. And how do you square such things? Well, gun laws only affect law-abiding citizens. And it's law-abiding citizens that, like it or not, they will abide by those laws to the best of their ability, and de-arming themselves in many cases, and turning them into victims instead of those who are able to protect themselves. In any case, this is a bad bill, and we've already sent letters of opposition to the legislature. We have sent a letter right around a month ago already to the governor, asking him to veto it when it came to his desk. And so adding this resolution to that letter, try to read it real quickly. I think it's worth mentioning here, at least on the video record and audio record here, our letter that we sent as well. Dear Governor Polis, the Fremont County Board of County Commissioners urges you to veto Senate Bill 3, semi-automatic firearms and rapid-fire devices. The bill in its originally introduced form was laden with issues that will not stand up to court scrutiny and will likely result in the overturning of the bill if enacted into law in that form. Likewise, the bill in its significantly amended form coming out of the Senate has now become a significant workload and personnel increase on our county sheriff's office in a time that we are already stretched thin. Another unfunded mandate on the counties is the last thing we need or can afford. The bill in its amended form now requires our sheriff to verify who may instruct a basic firearms safety course or an extended firearms safety course, issue firearms safety course eligibility cards, take 2 sets of print cards and submit to CBI, report information required by CPW to the firearms training and safety course record system, which has yet to be created. All of these will require the hiring of staff to oversee and monitor compliance. In addition to the hiring of additional staff to meet these requirements, there is simply a space issue. Current facilities do not accommodate the addition of the number of new administrative staff that would be necessary to accomplish what Senate Bill 3 requires. Additional staff and the office space necessary is simply too much for a small county budget to handle. Given the already existing shortage of firearms instructors in Colorado, it is estimated for our county that it will take between 3 and 4 years to educate, fingerprint, and issue FOID cards to a moderate 25 to 30% of its population. That's a very moderate estimate of Fremont County population that it will be required to have this. The additional financial burden for the oversight and compliance monitoring of this new system, hiring additional staff and locating that new staff is estimated to be $750,000 to $850,000 per year. This would represent a completely unfeasible 7% increase to the sheriff's budget, which has already seen a significant increase in unfunded mandates in the last 6 years, under this governor, I would add, and cannot bear the weight of even more, especially something so significant. Not only does this bill unduly place the financial burden upon counties, but it also severely underestimates the fiscal impact on the state in a year when we face a large budget deficit. The current fiscal note, this is as of a little over 30 days ago, is $1.4 million. They estimate approximately 50,000 applicants for FOID cards, yet in the last 4 years, up to 500,000 people annually have received background checks to purchase firearms. If only the normal amount of people sought the right to purchase a firearm without this bill, the actual fiscal impact of just this element would be increased by 10 times. 10 times. And then conclude that with our signatures, and thank you for your consideration, and please veto this bill when it comes to your desk. By the way, that clock is ticking. He has until April 13th to sign it, to veto it, or to allow it to come into law without his signature. Colorado does not have the pocket veto. He has to either choose to veto it or it becomes law. And we hope, despite the fact that the governor was an active participant in the major amendments on this bill in the Senate, we hope that he will heed the calls to veto this legislation and save us from what is effectively a gun registration bill. It's not a registration bill for the guns we already own yet, but it will be a registration system for guns that you wish to purchase. And so I hope that he will heed the call and veto Senate Bill 3.
I would like to encourage everyone to email, call the governor's office, and
there is still time.
Express your opinion to him.
There is still time.
Yep.
I also would add one more note, Mr. Chair, that we've been saying for years now that this is only the beginning, because many of those in the legislature, including our governor, have said many, many times that they're coming for our guns and they're going to get them. This is one more step. I mean, you can look back in history at what they have done every year for I don't even know how many years now, chipping away at Second Amendment rights, and they're taking them. And I really believe that many people don't understand that they're stepping up their game with every one of these terrible bills that comes before them. every one of them that actually is signed into and becomes law, they are continuing to take away our rights as gun owners. It's not going to stop here. If this is approved by and signed by the governor, they're still not going to be done. They will feel the victory. They will have that rush of we did it, and they're coming after you again. So just a warning.
Yep. I have a motion, Commissioner McFall.
Sure, I've moved, this will be resolution number 8. Move to approve resolution number 8, series of 2025, opposing Colorado Senate Bill 25-003.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded. Don't normally do this, but just in case there's anything you wanted to say. Okay. Just wanted to give that opportunity, sir. This is one of those that if public comment, if we had a room full, we might get a stream of people, but that's okay. It has been moved and seconded. Roll call.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Last but not least, the appointment of Mr. Kevin Brown to the Fremont County Board of Zoning Adjustment as a permanent member with a term expiring February 28, 2028.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I believe this is in effect a promotion for Mr. Brown. He currently serves as, of sorts. He does currently serve as the alternate member to the Board of Zoning Adjustment. And we've had a permanent member leave, so we are promoting Mr. Brown to that. So with that, Mr. Chair, I move to approve the appointment of Kevin Brown to the Fremont County Board of Zoning Adjustment as a permanent member with a term that will expire on February 28th of 2028.
I will second that with the note that I believe now we have an opening for an alternate on that board. So if anybody's interested, look at the website.
Okay. Has been moved and seconded to approve the appointment of Kevin Brown to the Fremont County Board of Zoning Adjustment as a permanent member. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And just one last quick note. Call, email, something, the governor. Let him know. It's the only way this is going to happen is with the inundation of the public in his lines of communication to
Senate Bill 3.
Senate Bill 3.
Senate Bill 3.
Ask him to veto Senate Bill 3. And with that, if there's no other business, we are adjourned.